It says we're live, but I'll wait till I see some comments. Okay, good. I see some comments. Hey, Frederick. Hey, guys. You know, the weather's so beautiful out here today that I figured instead of doing a little chat from the studio, I'd come out here and do it outside. I hope you guys can hear me okay. I'm not using an external mic or anything. Everything I would normally keep charged is all dead after spending 3 weeks in jail. So everything's threw everything on the charger. Hey Cheryl, good to see you. Good to see you. I'll tell you what the inspiration is for this little chat. I've just been thinking on how I want to address our weekly Friday night Scientology protests moving forward until these two misdemeanor battery charges that I have are resolved. And in the first, I realize I'm jumping into a topic, and a lot of people are. When you jump into a topic on the internet, it's easy to assume people know what you're talking about. And the real safe assumption is to assume literally nobody knows what you're talking about. You know, I'll give you an example. The video that I did, even though I was in jail for 22 days, even though people were all my friends were uploading content to my channel almost every day for 22 days. When I come out, I do a video saying I'm back. I'm out of jail after being in jail for 22 days. It's amazing how many of the comments are, wait, what were you in jail for? I don't understand what's happening. Or, or I'll mention in a video, I'll mention in a video that Mike Rinder has passed away, and the comments will be like, what, Mike Rinder passed away? And you're like, oh my goodness. Or, more recently in this stuff with me and Jenna, so many of the comments, what? I didn't even know you were dating. It's like, have you been watching the channel for 2 years? So anyway, that being said, I know a lot of people are like, what are you talking about jail? What are you talking about protests? It's fine, guys. So let me get into it. Me and my friends here in the Clearwater crew have been doing a weekly Scientology protest, a weekly protest against Scientology, right outside Scientology's largest building on their largest base in the world in downtown Clearwater, every single Friday evening for well over a year now. And it's grown to the point of, on a good week, we've got 20, 25 people out there protesting with us. We've got an awesome crew of regulars. We've always got new people dropping in, and not even just locals. Almost every week we have someone dropping in who's visiting from out of town, other states, the West Coast. It's become something that is so fun, so enjoyable, such a nice, group activity. And so what had happened was, back in July, there was an incident between me and a Scientology security guard where, after 5, 6, 7 weeks or whatever it was of the security guards throwing hundreds and thousands of gallons of water on us, at our feet, on our belongings, on the chalk that we were, the chalk art that we were doing on the sidewalk as a part of our constitutionally protected protesting, peaceful protesting. Things escalated to a point where there was an incident that I had some of the colored cornstarch in my hands in a bag, and some of that colored cornstarch ended up on one of the Scientology security guards. The police officer who responded to the scene said that it was battery for the security guards to throw water at us, even just at our feet, and it was battery for me to have gotten some cornstarch onto the Sea Org member, and he was going to write it up as a mutual battery. About 20 minutes later, Scientology convinced him not to write it up as a mutual battery, and I was arrested and charged with a misdemeanor battery. I was arrested, bonded out that night, out of jail that day. As a condition of bonding out on that misdemeanor charge, you're bonded out, right? You are not allowed to pick up any new charges, or that's a violation of the terms of your bond. So then what had happened was, on September 20th, I went down totally separate from our weekly Scientology protest, okay? On September 20th, I went down to the Clearwater Bank building, which is a historic building in downtown Clearwater, It is the home of Scientology's Office of Special Affairs, offices here in Clearwater. And there is a high-level veteran Office of Special Affairs officer named Pat Harney, who mans that desk at the reception area. Now, don't be confused. She's not a receptionist. And by the way, in a Scientology Sea Org organization, being a receptionist is not necessarily a low-level position like it is in the corporate world. That being said, Pat Harney is not a receptionist. She is a veteran, high-level operative of the Office of Special Affairs who happens to be posted at that desk, at the reception desk of Scientology's Public Information Center in the Office of Special Affairs building, which is in the Clearwater Bank building. Now, I have a running series of funny videos that I have done on TikTok and YouTube where I go down and I talk to Pat in the building as if she and I are working together on an operation to free the Sea Org members from their billion-year contracts. It's hilarious. Now, I've known Pat since I was 13 years old, okay? I'm not just, talking to some stranger or whatever. I know Pat. Pat knows me. If you guys haven't seen my Hey Pat videos, please go check out my TikTok account because that's where you're going to find them most easily. You can find them here on YouTube, but it's easier to find them on TikTok. I'm like, hey, Pat, and I talk like we're old friends and, we're working together to unionize the Sea Org members and, anyway, it's hilarious. So, a month and a half after I picked up my first battery charge, I was working diligently on a program to try and get Flag Sea Org member Flavio Lugli to call his parents, Claudio and Renata, in Italy. Claudio and Renata are two former Scientologists. They were OT8 Scientologists. And after they left Scientology, they were prevented from ever having any further communication with their son, Flavio. They haven't spoken to their son, Flavio, in 15 years. Me and my fellow friends and protesters in the Clearwater crew had, for several weeks, chosen to focus on Flavio Lugli in our weekly Scientology protests. George Massey had some flyers made up, and we would talk to every Scientologist we could about Flavio Lugli. Please help Flavio Lugli get in touch with his parents. And I decided, as a part of my series of videos with Pat Harney, to go down to the Office of Special Affairs and have a conversation with her as if I knew I could go to her for help. A little bit of a gimmick. And so I did what I had already done many times before. I went down to the Clearwater Bank building. I waited for the door to be opened. I didn't open the door. I don't open that door if it's closed. I never touch that door if it's closed. Because it's a public information center, that door is actually usually kept open and propped open with like a doorstop. I have never gone up to that door and ever opened it when it was closed. And I did not do it this time either. I was walking by the building. I saw that the door was closed. So I was going to walk on by. And then I saw someone came out of the building and opened the door. So I went up and I held the door open, and then I held it open with my foot as well because I'm holding my phone in my hand with a gimbal. I said, Pat, I knew I could come to you for help. Claudio and Renata. Claudio and Renata Lugli are trying to reach their son Flavio. He's a superpower auditor working in the Flag building. They're worried about his health. He's been diagnosed with hyperthyroidism. They're worried he's not getting the medical care he needs. They just want to talk to him. This whole conversation was going to last 60 seconds. Just like all my other conversations with Pat. They don't last more than 3 minutes, and I edit them down to like 60 seconds or whatever. While I was having this conversation with Pat, another veteran Sea Org member walked up to the door that I was standing in front of and started slamming it on my foot. I was determined to finish my conversation with Pat, and so I let him slam the door on my foot, but I did not move my foot. Then another Scientology Office of Special Affairs Sea Org member came out and helped this first man slam the door on my foot with now the force of 2 men. That very much injured my foot. Once the force of the door finally forced my foot out of the way, that caused me a significant amount of pain, and even left scars on my leather boots, on my leather boot, which I can show at some other time. After the door was slammed on my foot, I made physical contact, incidental, unintentional physical contact with the second Sea Org member who walked out. No one was injured. No one was hit. No one fell over. No one anything. I didn't even quite realize that I'd done it. Anyway, this incident resulted in me being charged with the second battery. Now, I didn't go to jail for the second battery. I went to jail because picking up a second charge violated the terms of my bond for the first battery. Even as I sit here today, that incident occurred September 20th, October, November. We're almost 3 months later. I haven't even been arraigned for that second charge. Can you guys believe that? That doesn't make any sense to me, but it's true. I have not even been arraigned for the second charge. Okay, so when my attorney and I showed up for a pre-trial conference on the first battery charge, the state attorney asked the judge to revoke my bond. Now, my lawyer at that time, and I've since hired a second attorney, and these two lawyers are working together beautifully. My lawyer at that time did not think there was any chance in hell that the judge was going to revoke my bond, and we didn't even really have a conversation about this. And to both of our absolute shock, the judge revoked my bond and sent me to jail and said, yeah, your lawyer can come back and ask for bond in a week or two. So then my lawyer asked for another bond hearing in 1 week. We show up to the bond hearing 1 week later after having been in jail for 8 days. And to our shock, the state attorney is once again asking, is opposing my bond being reinstated and asking me to be sent back to jail. And the state attorney, as the main piece of evidence that they put to the judge to convince her to send me back to jail, they used the title of a video that was uploaded to my channel while I was in jail. And the title of the video was, "This Means War, We Are Doubling Down." Now, you guys who watch my channel a lot know that this is a little bit of a theme on my channel. This means war. It's a clickbait title, okay? Also, there's the funny little Key and Peele intro that I use in the beginning of all my videos. Do you want to go to war, Balake? Because we could go to war. I'm for real. I'm for real. This whole "we could go to war" thing is just a joke, a running theme, a joke on my channel. And also, it was just the title of a video. It had nothing to do with the content of the video. The state attorney, represented to the judge that this title was somehow representative of an ongoing effort on my part to increase hostilities and tensions, not only toward the alleged victims in these battery cases. And anyway, judge sent me back to jail. And because it was over the Thanksgiving holiday, my lawyer could not get a second request for a bond hearing for another 2 weeks. So I ended up being in jail for 22 days. I was in jail for 22 days for 2 low-level misdemeanors I haven't even been convicted of, and one of which I haven't even been arraigned for. And guys, I'm being a little long-winded about this, so I hope you forgive me. Compare me spending 22 days in jail for 2 low-level misdemeanors I've never even been convicted of, one of which I've never even been arraigned for, to the following. Scientologist, Clearwater-based and based out of Clearwater in New York. Scientologist David Gentili. He was either convicted or he pled guilty to running a $1.8 billion Ponzi-like scheme. He was sentenced to 7 years in federal prison for a crime he actually committed. He stole tens to hundreds of millions of dollars from investors. He reported to prison 1 day after I was sent to jail. While I was in jail, President Trump pardoned David Gentili. not only pardoned him, full pardon, no probation, no restitution. I spent more days in jail for 2 low-level misdemeanors I've never been convicted of, one of which I've never been arraigned for, than a guy who stole tens to hundreds of millions of dollars, actually committed the crime, and was sentenced to 7 years in prison. Guys, I've said that the time I spent in jail was both the worst and the best thing that ever happened to me. Seeing the inside of our ridiculous criminal justice profiteering complex is something I'm actually really grateful for. Okay, but the point of this video is, how is all this going to affect our weekly Friday night protests? We all know, you all know, I know, Scientology, that this malicious prosecution, and I put the malicious prosecution at the feet of Scientology and at the feet of the state attorney. This is intended to keep me from protesting. That's what this is. It is specifically to keep me from protesting. When that second incident happened outside the Clearwater Bank building that I just described for you, the state attorney actually called my lawyer and said, listen, we just saw a video of the second incident. If we wanted to, we have grounds to go pick up Aaron and arrest him again. Or the Clearwater police do. We don't want to do that. We just want to wrap up this charge. We want to get this taken care of. Tell him to chill out. Stop doing anything that could be perceived as escalating. Stay away from the Clearwater Bank building so we can get this taken care of. My lawyer called me and is like, dude, I just got a call from the state attorney's office basically saying they don't want to arrest you. He's like, by the way, that doesn't happen. Right? He's like, that doesn't happen. Guys, what changed between the time that the state attorney's office called my lawyer to be like, bro, can you get your boy on a leash so that we don't have to do anything here? What happened between that time and when the state attorney shows up to court trying to throw me in jail for the exact same thing and to continue to ask the judge to keep me in jail? I'll tell you the only thing that happened. I continued to protest every week in downtown Clearwater. Because this malicious prosecution is designed to keep me from protesting, to have a chilling effect on the Clearwater crew, the Clearwater protest movement. We all know they're going to take advantage of the fact that I'm now out to try and orchestrate some bullshit to give the state attorney a reason to ask the judge to put me back in jail. For that reason, I said, guys, instead of going down and doing my weekly Friday night protest, maybe what I'll do is I'll sort of host the protests from home, from my studio, and I'll use this as an opportunity to encourage more and more protesters to come out, more and more people to stream out there. Because, guys, protesting out there is one thing. We need eyeballs. We need live streams, okay? Don't get me wrong. Even if you don't want to live stream and you want to come out and protest, please do. But also, the more people who are out there protesting without cameras and streams, we need additional people protesting with cameras and streams, okay? And I thought, me being out there physically, personally, at Target 2. By the way, Target 2 is the location that I started protesting at that's more than 500 feet away from a Scientology building. Let me switch around here. My hand's dying. Because as a part of this whole thing, I have to stay 500 feet away from the first alleged victim. And Scientology's pretending that guy can work in any Scientology building, even though it's totally a lie. So I have to stay away from any super obvious Scientology, 500 feet away from any Scientology building where the first alleged victim may possibly be working. So, the rest of the Clearwater crew has been protesting where we've always been protesting, right outside the Superpower building, right outside the Fort Harrison Hotel, 210 South Fort Harrison Avenue. I've been protesting at Target 2, which is one of the top 2 busiest intersections in all of Clearwater. The fact that I moved my protest from where it was to an even better location is why Scientology demanded that the state attorney actually charge me for the second incident. Me being physically and personally at Target 2 doesn't scale the size of our protests. It does give people a reason to want to come out and join. If they want to come out and join me, at least I'm there. People want to come and join. But I thought the best way to really scale it would be to be like, hey, if I can't be there myself, you know what I could do? Encourage as many new streamers and protesters to come out, and then use my channel to highlight them and promote them and to give them an incentive to come out. And that is a good idea. But I got to tell you, as I sit here right now, the reason I wanted to come on this stream is it sure does feel like Scientology wins, right? It sure does feel like Scientology wins. And I am worried that my own physical absence from the weekly Friday night protests will have a chilling effect on people's interest in participating. And so I wanted to put out some thoughts here, and I wanted to almost a call. I wanted to throw up the bat signal. If I'm going to be out there myself at Target 2, I need a lot of people out there with me. I do. Even if just to keep weirdos away from me. Okay? That's just the honest to God truth. If I have a lot of people out there with me, it protects me. If I pick up any new charge for any reason whatsoever, I'm going back to jail. And whereas jail was nothing like what I thought it would be like, it was actually very easy and boring. God forbid, sometimes it was even fun. Met some very fun, interesting people in jail. I don't want to go back. Very inconvenient. I'd rather be able to see my kids every day, okay? Rather be able to sleep in my my bed every day. Rather be able to take a nice hot shower where I can clean all major crevices and inside my belly button. I am asking anyone in the Clearwater area, Pinellas County, Tampa Bay area, if you've ever wanted to come out and join us on our Friday evening protests, I'm going to be down there this Friday. I'm going to be at Target 2 this Friday. And if you've ever thought about joining us, I want you to join us. I need a lot of people there with me. If some weirdos come up and are trying to do anything with me, if any Scientologists show up, if any SEERG members show up, I need people willing to get between me and them. That's honestly what I need. Because the risk to me is just anything Scientology might orchestrate to try to get me back in jail. And the risk to the protest movement is that my prolonged absence from the protest will have a chilling effect. And as I sit here right now, I'd rather go down there and ask lots of people to join me than not go down there and just hope that new streamers will show up. Because I think it's probably not likely to happen. Even at the last hearing where the judge agreed to let me out on bond on my own recognizance, actually supervised ROR. So I just have to call in every week and be like, still here. The state attorney asked to increase the restraining order from 500 feet to 1,000 feet. Why would they do that? I'll tell you why. Because they know Target 2 is less than 1,000 feet from the nearest Scientology building. They literally showed their hand right there in court. Your Honor, the only reason they asked for the 500-foot restraining order in the first place, as opposed to just a normal restraining order, is to keep me from protesting in front of the Fort Harrison Hotel. Now they asked for 1,000 foot in order to keep me from protesting at Target 2, which is at the intersection of Chestnut and Court in downtown Clearwater. And the judge said, no, I'm not doing that. No. And then they said, Your Honor, can we put the defendant on a GPS monitor? And she's like, no, we're not going to do that either. And she said, you know why? Because I'm not coming back here and listening to you guys argue about whether he was 497 feet away from the building or 501 feet away from the building. And she goes, because I'm sure Scientology's already measuring exactly how many feet away from their buildings that he is. They've got cameras everywhere. She said that. So, let's see. Yeah. Hey, Eric Rader. Yeah, we need a buffer zone around me. We absolutely need a buffer zone around me. And that's what I want to do, guys. That's what I feel is right. That's what I feel is right. It's what I feel is the best way to go. It's also what I feel is the best call to action that will help get as many people down there with me as possible. I need your help. I need your protection. I need someone willing to at least stand between me and anyone who might be trying to make physical contact with me. What do you guys think about that? Do you guys think this is a good way to proceed? Yeah. Oh, by the way, you want to talk about absolute unhinged lunatics. Did you guys know nasty Nora Ames, or as I like to call her, patient zero for the norovirus, she sent an email to my lawyer, a long email to my lawyer telling him what a terrible, mean person I am. What is it with Nora being bent on destruction? It's so weird, right? Like, she doesn't do anything positive at all. She doesn't do anything positive. She just tears people down on the internet. And after Nora and Liz have been trying to make a circus out of my and Jenna's, relationship recently, and I fully admit, me and Jenna made a circus out of it as well. And I don't begrudge people on the internet from commenting about my and Jenna's drama, but I do begrudge people who used to pretend to be our friends for doing it. So, since Nora and Liz have been, making my and Jenna's relationship into their own personal entertainment circus, I decided to return the favor to Liz. You'd think that for someone whose entire personality on the internet is talking shit about people, she could take it a little bit as well. So yesterday, Liz asked me if I would take down my video, and I'm like, sure, I'd be happy to. Take down your videos about me, and I'll take down your videos about you. And she goes, you have to make a public apology to my husband. I go, no, I don't. You and Nora literally slander me every day on YouTube. And all I did was give you a little bit of your own medicine, except what I said wasn't slander. What I said was just sharing what you told Jenna Miscavige 2 months ago. And she goes, okay, I guess we'll go to war then. I said, all right, let's go to war. I don't give a shit. Tell your husband I said hi. So anyway, those two lunatics will do what they're going to do. I don't care. I'm going to get on with business as normal. I'm not going to let them hijack. I'm not going to let them hijack my channel and cause me to switch my focus onto those two nut jobs. But just so you guys know, that's where it stands. Nora literally wrote a giant email to my lawyer. And of course, my lawyer sent it to me and is like, looks like the fucking lunatics are coming out of the woodwork. And I said, oh yeah, she's a special one. He goes, I know. Oh, can you believe it? Can you believe it? I think Nora actually said, oh my God, no, I want to say this. Nora yesterday complained that her big complaint about me, the reason I'm so dangerous, is that I'm the main source of Scientology information on the internet. And it's like, Nora, do you know, if you have a problem with that, do you know what you could do? You could try to also be a major source of information about Scientology on the internet. But instead of just trying to do that, you just try to tear other people down. And that's why nobody watches you, because you're unwatchable. Because you're so negative, you're so hateful, you're always preaching to other people and acting like only you know the right way to do things and everyone should do everything like you. Like, it's just, do you see what I'm saying? Like, she's like, oh my God. She literally said she's not going to give up until my channel's taken down and I'm put in jail for as long as possible. Nora should stop telling people how often she goes to therapy. Because if anyone has an aversion to therapy, and they see Nora on the internet, they will never get therapy. Like, if getting therapy has caused or allowed Nora to continue to be the way that she is, nobody should or would ever get therapy. Nora holds herself out there as like the poster child for the best way to seek recovery, and she's the most unhinged lunatic in the ex-Scientology space. And unfortunately, Liz Gale's been infected by the norovirus, and she's pretty much following suit. So, if Liz Gale wants to, go to war with me online, it's pretty much going to be a one-sided war. I actually told Liz yesterday, I'm like, Liz, I don't have, someone's saying publish the letter. Guys, Nora published the letter herself on her channel yesterday. She read the whole letter. She showed the whole letter. Like, this is how clueless she is. I told Liz yesterday, I said, Liz, I don't begrudge just anyone on the internet trying to make a circus over my personal life. I begrudge you from trying to make a circus about my personal life. Because you're a fucking snake. You're a fucking snake. And my friends gave you $10,000. I didn't actually say this to her yesterday. I'm saying it to you guys now. My friends gave Liz Gale $10,000 for her child's college education only because I vouched for her and said she was a decent person that was worthy of this help. My friends gave her $10,000 for her child's education. And the moment Liz Gale feels excluded from what she and her lunatic friend Nora call the cool kids club, she turns on not just me, but other people, and just does these attack mean girl videos, somehow, acting like a 13-year-old child on the internet, the way that only she can. And it's like, there's no, Liz has done a very good job of pretending to be a decent person, but honestly, not a very good job, because you just look at the kind of stuff that she does, and you can see she relishes in other people's misery. I mean, let's just look at the way Liz and Nora laugh and snicker and smile at all of, the personal struggles of the people they criticize. Honestly, like it's pretty disgusting. It's pretty disgusting. So, if Liz wants to go to war on the internet, it'll be a pretty one-sided war, because I've got better things to do. Oh, that was the other thing I said to Liz. I'm like, Liz, you've got so many stuff, so many other videos you could be doing on the internet other than videos about my personal life, that if that's a decision you're going to make, then I'm going to show you how that feels. I mean, it's only fair play. How many hundreds of videos do these two lunatics have to do about me and my personal life before they get a chance to feel what a bit of their own medicine tastes like? So they get a little bit of their own medicine, and they absolutely melt down into a puddle of lunacy. And it's like, guys, I was built for this. I'm not going anywhere. I can do 99 videos about Scientology, and I can do one video about those two lunatics, and they just can't even handle it. I can handle it. So they want to go to war, we'll go to war. But it'll be a one-sided war. And also, those are my protest plans, guys. I'm sorry. I'm not using my gimbal. I'm holding the phone with my hands, and they're getting very tired. All right, let's see. That's probably all we're going to do, guys. That's probably all we're going to do. It's very hard for me to catch up with super chats on these. In case anyone hasn't caught up on it, look, me and Jenna have decided to keep things amicable, keep things private, keep things peaceful. We both deserve to be happy. We both deserve to live in peace. We both deserve to be able to focus on what's important in our lives and what's important in our activism, without putting stuff out there that makes it harder for either of us to do that. Now, you would think that other ex-Scientologists in the internet activism space would also prioritize the same things. You would think, right? No. Keep your eyes on Nora and Liz, guys. Those two are some of the two most destructive, toxic people in this space, and they'll prove it to you. They'll show you. They're showing you who they are right now. You guys can check that out if you choose to. Okay, guys, I'm gonna get out of here, get some chores done, get some errands done, so I can get back to my regularly scheduled Scientology content from the studio. Stay tuned, guys, because I'm all rested up. I'm all rejuvenated. I'm rip-roaring and ready to go. And that includes sticking with the weekly Scientology protesting. Please come out, guys. Come out. Let's get 20, 30, 40, 50 people out there. Let's keep the lunatics away from me if we can. Okay, guys. Talk to you soon. If I can figure out how to end this. YouTube's changing this stuff around. Here we go.